Where's your squeaky donut? Give me your squeaky donut. Where's your squeaky? Huh? Where's your squeaky donut? I'm sorry, what? What are you huffing and puffing about? Hey, give me your donut. Bring it. Bring it. Can I have it? All right, let's go. Hi everyone, good morning. Hope y'all are doing great. We are going out for a walk, and yes, I am wearing a jacket. Can you believe that? So we went through that heat wave that I'm sure a lot of you went through. It was, I think it was 5 days in total. 4 days that were like 94 degrees and, 80-something% humidity. It was pretty ripe here. So we spent some days taking early morning walks before it got real hot, staying off the pavement. So I had to get creative, and we would cut through behind the house. There's a big grass area that's a common area kind of in the middle of this circle here, and then that's how we got through it pretty much. But one thing we did, I think it was the first day after the heat broke, but it was still in the mid 80s, we took a drive up to Lake Ontario. We're taking a ride up to the lake. He doesn't know yet. I didn't tell him where we're going. He's getting suspicious though, because I did pick up his towel, and he knows towel means water. So it's about a 15-20 minute drive up to the lake, up to the beach. Where we're going is Durand Eastman Park. It's right on Lake Ontario. And where I grew up was right up in that area. And Durand Beach was where we used to go. It was, a mile and a half from my house. So if you look up Durand Eastman Park, you'll find it. That's where we're headed. I haven't checked the water temperature up on the beach recently, but we just went through like 5 days in the mid 90s. So I'm guessing that the water is probably in good shape as far as the temperature. Going, do you? Confused. Oh dear. Are you starting to figure something out? Now, we've only been up here like 3 times in his life. So I'd be really surprised if he remembers this. But, dogs have their thing, right? All he's got to do is smell it, and then it triggers his memories, I'm guessing. See that sign right there, Sea Breeze? There's an amusement park down here, Sea Breeze, and it's still there, and that's the one we used to go to when I was a kid growing up. It's got an old wooden roller coaster called the Jackrabbit. I hope that's still there. Oh! Goodness, dude, man, you just like sneezed right on me, brother. You goof. Easy, puppy. lake. Right there. Easy, buddy. Is the putt-putt still there? Oh, there used to be a putt-putt miniature golf course over there. Now this is Durand Eastman Park right here that we're driving through. Absolutely gorgeous. This was our go-to park when I was a kid. Look at this tree canopy. Wow. How beautiful is this? And there's the lake. Wow, look at the waves. So the beach runs all along here. Oh, he knows what's up. He figured it out. Okay, come on, let's go. Wow, I didn't even think about the fact that there was going to be waves. Windy out. Hey, come on, left. Come on. What you? Oh, it's might be too rough for him. Hey, you gonna get in that water, huh? You gonna get in that water? What? Oh my goodness. What's the matter? It's pretty windy, eh? You gonna get in that water? What? Woo! Oh, this sucks. I did not even think about this. It's usually so nice and calm down here. Ah! You better get in that water. What? You gonna go swimming? Huh? Aren't you gonna go swimming? Come on. Get in that water. Oh, we just got smackered. Did you get one in the chops? You better get in that water. Come on. Whoop. There you go. Hey. Come on, get in that water. There you go. Hey. Come on. God. Well, that didn't work out so well. Too rough. He never went in to go swimming. That was my fault. I did not even think about how many waves there were going to be out here. It's really rough. We're going to have to revisit this in a couple days when this wind has died down, because I really want him to get out there swimming. Come on, pup. Because he loves the swimming. But he's definitely soaked from head to toe, and he's got sand pretty much up his legs. So we're walking to try to dry him off. We're going to take a walk up this path way up to the end and then do a 180 and come back. And hopefully he'll get dried off. We do have his towel. So either way, we'll be okay. Well, Lake Ontario is upset today. Well, thank you all for coming along to the beach with us today. Sorry we didn't get any swimming footage, but we'll be back, I guarantee it. There's something about water. It's got to be something that's instinctive. To me, it's like captivating, mysterious. It sounds very corny, but there's some kind of draw or attraction to water. I remember growing up and, you know, family friends and such that had like cottages down on the Finger Lakes. Hey, come on up here. And going to visit them when I was a kid, and just, you know, the life of having like a cottage on the shore of a body of water. There's just, it's so calming, like waking up in the morning and walking out onto the beach. I always loved that feeling, that environment. And, you know, I've never had a boat. I've never had lake access property, anything like that. But if there was something that I'd want on my bucket list, that would be it. Is to have, you know, to be able to live in that water lifestyle. You know what it is. Everybody's wearing flip-flops, and you walk to the corner store with no shirt on, and, well, you know what I mean. Just a very laid back and relaxed environment. That would be so great. Yeah, but that trip up there, you saw it turned out to be a bit of a bummer. You know, when that weather system broke, it was really windy for about a day and a half, and I wasn't really thinking about it. And the waves up there were pretty violent, you know, for Lake Ontario. And normally when we go up there, it's just nice and smooth, and the water is very calm, and you can walk out pretty far. You know, the beach is pretty shallow, and there's sandbars out, like you can wade out, you know, you get up to your waist, and then you go a little farther and the water's only up to your ankles, you know. Oh, I gotta pause video. Go ahead, let's go. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so we couldn't really do any swimming. He went out in the water and he got fully wet, but I felt the water, it was kind of chilly too, I think, just from it getting all churned up. So it wasn't warm water, and it was very agitated, so it wasn't ideal. So I promised him that we would take a second trip up there before we leave the area here. Hey, let's go this way. Come on. Don't put the brakes on. Come on. Come on. Come on, puppy. This way. Hey, come on. Let's go this way. Okay. No, back this way. Nice try. Yeah, we'll get up there again before we leave the area. Now, yesterday I went up, had to go talk with my friend Harry that's doing the brakes on the truck. So I dropped it off over at his house, and then we went through the heat wave, and I wasn't expecting him. It was just too hot. I wasn't expecting him to do anything on it. And so he's working on it now. He called me night before last. He had the front end brakes torn apart. Yeah, it turns out I had the wrong front brake pads. And when I bought them, they were Motorcraft parts. And when I ordered them from Rock Auto, they were listed as front and rear. And there were other manufacturers that had pads that were also listed front and rear. So I said, oh, okay, the truck must have the same pads on both the front and rear axle. You know, and never having it apart myself or looking at it, I couldn't pass judgment on that listing. So I ordered them. I ordered 2 sets of the same pads. Well, he said they're wrong. So what I had was 2 sets of rear pads. And he also found on the driver's side, the left front, that the bearing retaining washer was missing. So, you know, you put the bearing on, the outside bearing, and then you've got a washer, and then you've got a nut that retains it all together. That washer was missing on that side. So I went up yesterday, so we had to get replacement parts. And so I went and found them, but the best I could do was, you know, next day delivery, which would have had them arriving here today. Of course, the shipping was more than the cost of the parts. So a $40 order was $90 to have it next day. But before I did that, I ran up to the shop yesterday morning and met him. And he had gone to the, at the shop there, he had gone to their parts counter and they could get the parts locally. Now leave that alone, buddy. That's a beehive that got knocked out of the tree the other day. And every day we walk by here, he just, you know, anything that's not normally there in the grass, he's got to go check it out. And I don't want him comfortable going up to the smell of a beehive, so I keep letting him not go over there. So they were able to source the parts locally, so that solved that problem. And I'm sorry if y'all are getting wind noise, I've just got the phone in my hand. Yeah, so he's got the parts he needs, and then of course yesterday it rained during the afternoon, evening, so I don't know if he did any work on it last night. So brakes are coming along, we'll get those done, we'll get the truck back here in a couple days. I've got to do the oil change, I've got swapping the air filters with some new Motorcraft ones. The last air filters I put in, they were not Motorcraft. I forget what brand they are because that's all I could get. And I showed them in a video, I think last year or the year before. They're about 3/8 of an inch shorter than the Motorcraft ones, which is really strange. They're not, so they don't have as much surface area to filter the air. So I'm getting rid of those and putting the Motorcraft ones back in. Oil change with the Rotella T4, 15W30, 15W40, and the Wix oil filter. So that's all coming up when we get it back. I've got the new shoe rack, pouch rack to hang on the door. I ordered that. That came the other day. Thank you all for all the suggestions on how to keep my frying pans from coming up. And the suggestions were like, I just smacked my head like, duh, why didn't I think of that? Put a lip of wood along the edge of the shelf. The problem with that, of course, there's always a problem. My flat frying pan, like, is right to the edge of the shelf, you know, so if I put a piece of wood, a lip along the edge, the shelf won't be deep enough to hold the frying pan sitting flat. So I've got to look at that. And the reason that shelf is shallow like that, because that's the only way you can get it in the door and then flipped up and put in position. You can tell the original shelf was that same way because of the shelf hangers. They were only so deep because you can't get a full-size piece of wood through the doors and up into position. And yes, it is getting dark out here while we're walking. You can see what we've got going on up here. Not a great looking morning. Huh, is it gonna rain? Is it gonna rain today? Come on. What you being so nosy about, huh? All right, I had to stop recording outside. The wind really picked up, and I hope that what we did film was usable and not a ton of wind noise. So I think I was talking about the truck. It's over there, right on cue. It's over there getting the brakes done. A couple of days, I think we'll have it back. Minor oil change, air filter change. I think that's pretty much it for this year. I'm just going to check everything over. I was thinking about possibly going to have my AC recharged. It's working fine. It's been 2 years since, is it 2 years or 3 years? It's been a while since we converted the air conditioning back to just cab only and got rid of the rear air conditioning. And it's been working fine, works to this day. So I don't know. That's a maybe. If I have the time, maybe do that. I took the bike out for its first real ride. I rode over to Dalen's house. So it's like 4 miles there, 4 miles back. I don't even know if it's that far. It's maybe 3 miles each way. The bike did great. These tires, wow, what a difference. It rides very smooth. It rides like, as smooth as a street bike, really. These tires are nice and smooth on the road. Now, the real test of them is going to be getting them in the dirt. They've got good knobbies, so let's hope that they work out well in the dirt. As long as they're sufficient. I'm not expecting, high-end dirt tire performance, but as long as they get us through what we're trying to do, and we don't do crazy riding in the dirt, so I'm guessing we're going to be just fine. But no harmonics. I remember my KTM, I'm sure because the wheels weren't balanced, I'd be riding down the road, and it would go through this. You felt it before. You can feel it in cars, too. It's a harmonics from something being out of balance. This did not do that at all. This is perfectly smooth. No hippie hopping from the knobbies at all. So I'm really happy that I made the choice to switch these tires and got that off my mind, because that's something over the last 2 bikes that I didn't do, and they really needed better tires for road riding. The bike, the performance-wise, I've got to get retrained on engine braking. The 2-strokes, when you let off the throttle, you have minimal engine braking, the bike slowing down because of the engine. This thing, you let off the throttle and it boom, immediately starts to slow you down. So much so that, like, coming into stoplights and stuff, between engine braking and downshifting, I barely use the brakes. So I've just got to retrain myself on it. But so far, performance-wise, I'm happy with the engine. It likes to rev. A 4-stroke, old 4-strokes were all low-end, low RPM bikes. This thing likes to rev. And these newer 4-stroke engines are made, 10, 11,000 RPM is not unusual for them. And this thing, it's got low-end power, but then when I really get on it and let it wind out, it takes off. So this bike, this engine is rated at, it's 24 horsepower. If I remember right, my KLX 250 was 19 horsepower, if I'm correct, and I think I am. The KLX is now a 300. I don't know what the horsepower rating on that 300 is. If I had to guess, it's probably similar to this, 24, 25 horsepower. And thank you, by the way, all of you that, gave me thumbs up on getting this bike. I get it. It's from overseas. I don't like that fact. I take solace in that it is being manufactured and imported to a company in Utah. And without that company in Utah, these bikes wouldn't exist. Now, they would exist in a different form, customized differently, and they'd be being sold somewhere else. But the guy Gary that runs USA Motor Toys in Utah, he's worked tirelessly over the years with the manufacturing facility in China to come up with these bikes that are dialed in pretty well. Every model change, they make improvements based on what the riders are telling them. And that's really That I think is really cool, where you can, you know, if you come up with something that's wrong with the bike and a bunch of people that have them confirm that there's something that needs improvement, and you tell it to the guy that's importing them, and they actually make that improvement on the next model, that's pretty cool. I like that. So that's how I take solace in having this bike. So cost-wise, when I bought my KLX 250, it was used, and I paid $4,100 for it. So not much different than this, but I've got a lot more bike here than I had with that KLX 250. One of the biggest things is it's 50 pounds lighter. This is 50 pounds lighter than a KLX. That's a huge difference. And it's a big difference for me when I'm carrying it way out on the back of my truck. An extra 50 pounds, that's a big deal. And you can feel 50 pounds. Like, this feels a lot lighter than my KLX. That bike was great to ride and very comfortable for the amount of power. It was a heavy bike. So I'm happy with the bike so far. I'm going to continue to ride it, check it over. I've got to do an oil change on it, the first oil change. So that's coming up. So what I was doing, I sold the gas, didn't have this bike yet. So when we got back here, I've been zipping around on an e-bike. Okay. Come on, scoop. Good scoop. Let's talk about the details of the Highboy P6. So this has a really good feel to it, and I was just looking in the book, and I think I figured out one of the reasons. It only weighs 65 pounds. And, you know, these full-size bikes can get pretty heavy. It's got front suspension, it's a hardtail, but it does have a nice cushy seat. There's two things on the bike that are, I'm going to say, unique. It doesn't have hydraulic brakes. It's got cable brakes. They feel good. They're easy to maintain. So I don't mind having kind of the old school cable pull brakes. The other thing that's kind of unique here, most of the bikes we look at, they have a 7-speed Shimano derailleur. This has a 9-speed. So this has 9 speeds to it. And when I put this thing in 9th gear with pedal assist on number 5, it goes. I mean fast. I haven't found the top speed yet where it quits giving you pedal assist. And going fast, it feels steady. It's got 26-inch wheels. They're 4-inch wide fat tires, pretty standard there. Nice and smooth ride, quiet. I don't have anything negative to say about this bike. I really enjoyed riding it around. And it's got twist throttle, and you all know how I love that. I hate the little thumb throttles. It's got headlight, it's got a horn, front and rear reflectors. As I said, front suspension, and the forks are adjustable for preload and rebound both. And you can feel the changes when you turn the clickers. You can really feel the difference in the forks. And now here's the one thing I really wanted to share about this bike. It is fast, and I don't mean just top speed fast. I mean this thing takes off, and it's not jerky. That I really like. It takes off fast. Dalen got on it and rode it, and we always compare the bikes to her Ad Motor, her little orange hot rod bike, because it's very quick, and she agreed that this one is very fast. So you know I like it. So if you're interested in these, or you were looking at this model, I'll put the links down in the video description. So check it out. Really nice bike, not super expensive, very smooth, very fast. 9-speed, disc brakes front and rear, front shock. It's a good bike. I really like riding. It's very smooth, very quiet. Thank you, Highboy, for letting me check this out. When I came out of the barber shop that day, I left Lefty out in the car. It wasn't a hot day. It was, you know, maybe like 68 degrees. It was in the morning. I left the windows down. You know, he was fine. I come out, and he had upchucked in the car. Don't know why. He was fine the rest of the day, you know, ate his dinner, water, everything was fine. So I don't know what caused him to upchuck. We had just had breakfast and then went over there. So I don't know, but cleaning that. So we came zipping back home here, and I got the paper towels and the rubber gloves and the spray cleaner, and he had upchucked right between the driver's seat and the center console. So probably about one of the worst places he could have done it. It was all on the seat track, you know, and those are power seats, obviously. So it's got the screw in there. It was all in there. Oh my God. It was, oh, I mean, it was like fresh food. You know, it didn't have a bad odor or anything, thankfully, but so difficult to clean up. I had to remove like the plastic covers that go over the seat assembly down there. I had to remove all of them. I had screwdrivers and tools to get it out from behind the seat mount bracket. I got it, and I got it really clean. But oh my gosh, it was like an hour we were back here cleaning that thing up. But like I said, he was fine after it. I don't know what caused it, but got a haircut. Cleaned up some upchuck that morning. Oh, earlier I was thanking y'all for all the ideas on keeping my frying pans off. So, like I mentioned, that shelf is a certain depth, has to be, and my flat frying pan comes like right to the edge. So I've got to look at it. When I get the truck back, we'll get in there and take a look. Maybe I can put a piece of L, you know, that would attach under the shelf and then go up, so I could extend it out a little bit. One idea, this came from my friend Steve. Thank you, Steve. He sells these on his website. This is actually a non-slip mat for Jackery batteries. So you can see, like, if this lays flat and it's this gripper type silicone stuff, and you see how this is shaped, and I'm sure there's a Jackery model that fits right down in that. So this is, you know, grippy silicone. So he was thinking maybe some of these, modify them, like cut it down the middle and move it so it's wider apart, and then the frying pan would go in the middle. And that very well might be a solution. This showed up from the Amazonian a couple days ago. I could tell what it was just by feeling it. This is from Nancy and Paul. Thank you too. So I got a secret surprise coming up that I'll share with y'all. So this is going to play into that. So I probably just spoiled the surprise, but it's going to be a change for us. And then I mentioned, here's my new shoe rack, like $10. I've got to cut it down the middle. I've got the oil for the oil change on the dirt bike. And then here's my 2 air filters. You know, the 7.3 is so powerful, it needs 2 air filters. Best engine ever made. Come on. You went inside. Come on. Get back out here, you dinker. All right, we're going to go inside and sit down and see if I can put together a video for y'all real quick. Thanks for being here and listening to me ramble on about stuff. Everyone, take care, be safe. We'll see y'all again really soon. What? Can't give me a break? We just got in the truck. I'm testing the wipers, and let's test the squirts. Oh, it's working. Excellent, we're all fixed. Excellent. So not great that he chewed it up, but great that we got it fixed. Truck hasn't run in a few weeks. She started up.